Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting episode of Joysticking powered by Cinelinx.com. I'm your host Jordan Mason, and today I'm going to be playing another Star Wars game I have never had the chance to play before, and that's Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. Now when I first started this series of Star Wars games I haven't played before, I kicked things off with the original Dark Forces, went to Shadows of the Empire, and I decided for this next video it was a good time to come back for the sequel. Now Dark Forces 2 takes place about 1 year after Return of the Jedi, but this came out 2 years after the release of the first Dark Forces, and so many changes are readily apparent, in which we're about to see once this opening crawl finally gets through. Like I said, this takes place after Return of the Jedi, so you know the Empire's on the outskirts, trying to come back. Darth Vader's gone, Emperor's gone. So it's kind of an all-new story. Same character, Kyle Katarn. We get to see him back. And then one of the cool things that this game really incorporated were the cutscenes. They went with the full motion video capture. This is one of those times where they really wanted to set the stage for something special, and they wanted to give Star Wars fans, who hadn't had a movie in a long time, there were no movies really on the horizon, they wanted to give them a real legitimate Star Wars cinematic experience. And so they gave us these full motion video cutscenes like this, with these really excellent actors here.
First, I need something from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna let this play through. If you haven't had the chance to fully experience the viewing pleasure of these cutscenes, I'm happy to show them for you. And this is one of those big differences. I mean, 2 years can be a huge jump in technology, especially for games. We see it all the time today, but back then, the jump between Dark Forces and Jedi Knight were pretty astounding. The first Dark Forces obviously had heavy Doom influences and really showcased that type of sprite-based gameplay. Jedi Knight takes it a little bit further. Now we're moving into polygons. We're looking much more like a traditional 3D shooter that we've come to know and love. Now what's cool here, despite the acting, despite the over-the-top cheesiness of all that you're seeing going on here, one of the cool things about these cutscenes is that it featured the first lightsaber footage filmed in over 14 years since the release of Return of the Jedi. So this was something brand new for Star Wars fans to get into. Now, like I have in the past, I went ahead and set up my name and all that stuff so we could skip through all that. This is my first time playing through, so you're going to see some horribleness, more than likely, because despite playing through Dark Forces 1, my first-person shooter gaming skills on the PC have not improved, at all. Once again, we're getting another big cutscene, and this, I mean, really, all things considered, back in '97, this was pretty impressive. And this feels very Star Wars. You have these big, sweeping zooms and pans around the whole area, allowing you to get a feel for this location.
I want you to remember, son, when you're at the academy, how very proud I am of you. What a fine young man you've become. I wish your mother were here to see it. But I know she watches over you and is proud. After she died, your welfare and upbringing were the only thing I truly cared about.
Touching.
When someone desires information, they come to me.
Would you look at that?
waste my time.
More
Tell me who killed
3D animated characters.
Patience.
You know, so it's proof
Jedi.
positive that, you know, the prequels weren't the only ones that went with the idea of
And
integrating
he has great
uh,
plans.
CG characters with live action footage for a Star Wars show.
Petty political struggles.
Well, you should be. Without going into too much detail, Jarek has been quite generous in his offerings. Unfortunately, you don't factor into them. But I am not without a heart.
Could have seen this
Familiar,
double cross a
yes.
mile away.
I found it in your dead father's home. I can decipher any language or code known, but this one eludes me. It must be important. Tell me what it is, and these gentlemen won't have to indulge their darker side.
The dark side? I've been there. Do your worst.
You know, for all,
Well,
you
I
know,
suppose
yes,
that
it's obviously dated
our business.
by now, but for all that, you know, this is actually quite a lot of story setup for a first-person shooter game, and this is one of the things that really set the entire Dark Forces series apart from all the other shooting games out there. Yes, it was a shooter. Yes, it borrowed heavily from all the other shooters of the time that it came out. But they did a great job of integrating a lot of story and lore where most shooters normally don't. So let's go ahead and look around. I like how you can interact with some of the environments. This is one ugly dude. Oh man, a little too many polygons there. As you can tell, my controls have not improved very much. And yes, I'm trying to figure out all the controls. Oh god! Oh god! Came up out of nowhere.
You always cause trouble.
Is he gliding or walking? Does he have legs? How do I get over there? No. No. Come on. There's gotta be a way over there. There are power-ups. That's pretty cool. You can look out the windows and see stuff. Fine. Screw it. Hey, new gun. Yes, I'm still trying to figure out the controls. I already told you, I'm not very good at this. Ooh, I hear people. Gotcha. Where now? Where? Ooh, I'll take that. Can I not get up here? I guess not. What's up here? Nothing. Looks like a lot of nothing. Ah. Yeah. I like how you can somewhat interact and have some destructible things in the environment here. Obviously, these environments aren't hugely detailed, but for the time, this is actually really expansive level design here. There's a real good sense of space and scale. I don't know how to get this dude. I obviously am having trouble looking up and aiming. Where are you? Come on. Get your butt down here. Get it. I can hear you. Are you coming? finally. That's one. That seemed to take a lot more ammo than it should have. Hey, I can punch people. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Anyway, there's a real good sense of scale and space put into these levels, and it's one of the things they were critically lauded for back when the game initially released in '97. People were impressed at the level design and how you were able to really maneuver around. You could find hidden things, and it felt like a real existing place. There's a lot of options here. There's people milling about. I mean, they don't really do a whole lot, and obviously by today's standards it's not very well populated, but for the time it's pretty impressive work. I mean, a lot of this was so impressive, especially because it was one of the earliest titles ever to use the 3D graphics hardware acceleration with Microsoft's Direct 3D, which was a huge deal at the time, and it really gave. Oh God, I almost jumped off. Oh yeah. Anyway, oh hey God. Kind of got lucky there, but this was a huge deal at the time. You know, this was a new technology. You know, and this really helped showcase what that 3D hardware acceleration could do on the Microsoft platform for gamers. And I think it did a good job. And a lot of critics were pretty impressed with what they were able to do. If I could stop getting shot by this guy, that would help a lot. If I could aim once in a while. Alright, what's over here? Oops. This is not helping. Where are you? I can't even see him. I can see that I'm getting shot at. Where'd you go? Oh God! God, he came out of nowhere. Alright, I know there's a guy over here somewhere because I was getting shot at. I don't know where. Oh, I see something. Yeah. I need that. Obviously, because I'm not very good at this. Oh, there's a guy. Boom. Woo. Oh, not supposed to shoot him. My bad. Sorry, dude. Innocent bystander. I guess that means I'm going to be on the dark side. Which, speaking of which, you're not going to see a whole lot of that in this first level here, but this was the first Star Wars game to let players choose between the light side and the dark side based on their actions. Based on which you chose, you would get a different ending. Obviously, this is something we see a lot of these days, not just in Star Wars games, but in other games as well. But we've seen it, you know, famously in Knights of the Old Republic, you know, The Force Unleashed. Lots of Star Wars games have implemented that light versus dark dynamic. But this was the very first game to give you those options and really change the story based on how you played. Obviously, it's not as deep as it is in some of the later titles, but it was a neat idea. Oh God! Boy, these big thugs really stick to the corners. But anyway, it's a neat, novel idea, and like I said, so much story in these type of story ideas integrated into a first-person shooter is just almost unheard of. Why can't I shoot this guy? Why can't I shoot this guy? What are you standing on? There we go. I'm not good at shooting people. Or apparently jumping on ledges. Another cool window view. Oh! Ah! I hear somebody. must have been him. Oh, what? Oh, God! Oh, what the hell? That's some bull crap. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's what happened. I died a lot. So I skipped towards the end. Not only because I died so much and I didn't want to make this a 45-minute video on the first level, but I had some weird sound issues on a couple of my other playthroughs. So I'm kind of jumping ahead in time here if you're feeling out of place. This is near the end of the level, where I've gotten a little bit better by this point, because at this point I've had to replay this level about 10 times. I'm not lying here. It may even be more than 10 times because I'm just that bad at it. This is the first level. I don't know if it's just hard or I suck that bad, but here we are. But I wanted to jump ahead, that way you can see a little bit more of how it ends. But yeah, I'm kind of ashamed of myself here, how many times I died. Let's see where this goes. Secret room. Yes. It's always nice to get bonuses after all the crap I've been through to try and finish this stupid level. Oh. I swear if I die here, I'm done. Y'all won't get to see the end of the level. How do I get down? Do I just jump through these things, or what? Okay, I guess so. Is that where I go? Or is that where I go? I can't remember. I'm all discombobulated. Oh, that looks like where I was supposed to come from. Woo! Huh. That's a rather abrupt ending to the level. Seems kind of odd considering all the stuff that had come before it as far as setting up story goes, but there's another cutscene that continues further. What I'm showing you now are just some of the many deaths that have taken place on the way to getting to the ending of this. That way you can see a little bit of what's going on. Like I said, the audio was having a lot of weird trouble with this one. You can see that I ran out of ammo a couple of times, actually, and that's what ended up leading to my downfall, which is a bummer. But I did finally make it through. It took multiple tries, changing up the keyboard settings and everything to make the controls easier for me, but I managed to make it to the end of this first level. The rest of the game should be very interesting. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Joysticking. If you did, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Until next time, be sure to keep it tuned to Cinelinx.com for all your movie, news, gaming, and geek needs.